Hello, welcome to episode 28 of the Epic Film Challenge 2, 1,001 movies you must see before you die. Connie's going to hate me for this one because we've already talked about it, but we have to do it for this series, and I can't see us watching it again at any time over the next couple of years. Gone with the Wind. Now...
Why can't you just copy it?
No, well, I could, but it's not really. It's more of our general thoughts, but we'll do it very quickly.
I don't remember
if you want to see our full, fresh thoughts on it, you can go to 24 Hour Movie Marathon 5, and we watched it for the first time, and I can't believe I got Connie to watch it for a start. But it is one.
I'm glad I did.
Yeah, and it is one of those big ones that you must see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like a lot of the films in this book are films I've never heard of, or a film just like 80s comedies, things like that, all sorts of different films. But Gone with the Wind is one of those heavy hitting classics that you just got to see, that everyone knows about, even if you haven't seen it. So, I mean, right off the bat, I would let's just do it.
It's kind of like a movie that you just kind of have to say that you've seen.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're almost a little proud that you sat through it, even if you didn't enjoy it. You'd be like, oh yeah, Gone with the Wind, yeah, seen that. You know? Yeah,
I mean, I'm just looking through the videos we've done so far. Kramer versus Kramer, amazing film, but it's not one that people say in every day. Oh, have you seen that?
No.
Or you haven't seen.
I don't think I've heard about it, but everybody's heard about Gone with the Wind.
Exactly, or Tootsie, another great film, but it's not really like seen as one of the. But this one, is it a film you must see before you die? Absolutely yes. What would you say?
Yes.
You can say no if you want.
I would say yes to all girls out there. I think a lot of guys would survive without seeing the movie, but it's because. I'm not saying it's a girl movie,
bit
really,
sexist
but
there.
It is. I know. Well, that's the way it is. It's just,
no, I get your point.
Whenever I've seen TV shows or movies about people talking about Gone with the Wind, it's always been girls gushing about it because it's that old romantic drama thing,
Just very briefly, just almost to go through the motions. It's
and it follows a woman, so.
Yeah, it's set in the times of the American Civil War in the 1800s, like 1860, 1870, something like that. And it's another one of those films that takes place over many, many years, and it's set on this character, Scarlett O'Hara, who's this woman who lives on a plantation, and she's got money and stuff, and you just see her over this 4-hour epic go from a very nice kind of comfortable life where she's got anything she could want, and then she slowly gets dragged down and then dragged through the mud, and then by the end of the first part of the film she's at rock bottom, and then you see her try to build her life back up again. There's love, there's unrequited love, there's complicated love, there's loads of characters, and what's his name, Clark Gable, I'm pretty sure, plays Rhett Butler, who's kind of her romance in the film. There's someone else that she loves, but he's kind of the one that keeps coming in throughout the film and throughout the years into her life, and I love their romance because it's not a typical sweep you off your feet kind of thing. And like I said, I think I said in the marathon, the poster's him holding it's like the classic romantic pose that gets copied and all that. So that's
on all the books you see.
Romance books. And I always thought that it was just swept her off her feet and they fall madly in love, but it's not quite like that.
No.
In fact, it's really not like that. And
I expected that too.
And their testy relationship is really fun to watch, and she was a great character as well. And the actress who played her, I forget, Vivien, Leigh maybe. She was brilliant. The cast is great. There's a brilliant shot at the beginning with Scarlett and her dad overlooking the house, and the camera pans back, and it's like it just made me almost tear up a little bit, just because it's such an old film and it was such a grand shot, and it just.
But they did that shot like 2 more times.
They did, and there's a kind of thematic reason for that, I think, to show that the different parts of her life when she was at that and just the imagery of it. But something about it, I think that's one of the great shots of all time. That shot was just Anyway. You could go into this film for ages. The scope of it was great. We talked about that as well. There's a shot with all these wounded soldiers. Yeah. I think we later learned that a lot of them were dummies, but either way, it just looked so impressive. And it was back at a time where you had to kind of do it for real, if not do paintings, which they kind of did. But anyway, so Gone with the Wind in 5 minutes. It's a great film. It's not one I would watch over and over again. But
I might watch it again when I'm like 60 or something.
I thought you were going to say in like 5 years or something.
No, No.
Wow, really? Okay.
No, this is like maybe every 10 or 20 years.
Wow,
kind of movie.
that's
It's 4 hours long.
No, it's just that's interesting.
We had to watch it in like 3 intervals because I had to walk around to keep
Yeah,
myself awake.
that's because we were doing the marathon. But I mean, like,
True.
it's interesting that you say like 10, 20 years. I mean, you're potentially saying, I'll probably see that film once or twice again in my entire life, which is kind of like...
How old do you think I am? It's 10 or 20 years.
I'll just...
If I watch it every 20 years, I'll at least watch it 3 more times in my lifetime. If it's every 10 years...
One would hope. One would hope. You know...
It'd be at least 6 times.
But you know, I see what you mean. And I think I enjoyed it more than you and would be more inclined to watch it again more often than you. But I do agree that it's definitely one to watch maybe, for me, like every 3 to 5 years, if that. I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to watching it again because, again, I really, really loved it. But it's one you have to invest time into. You can't just pop Gone with the Wind on. You have to really set aside the time.
I think it would be great to fall asleep to.
Because you wouldn't wake up in the middle of the night with the credits playing. It would still be going.
Yeah, you don't have to loop it. Wake up at 7 a.m. Oh, it just finished, is it?
No, I'll just get some breakfast, watch the ending.
When it comes to watching it again, I think the next time I watch this would be to show it to someone.
Yeah, and experience it with someone else. Yeah, that's a good point.
So they can experience for the first time.
Yeah.
Because somehow when I do that, I end up enjoying the movie even more.
Yeah, it's always different to experience a film with someone else.
Yeah, when you show it to someone, it's weird how it gets it's so important for you that person likes the movie.
Yeah,
if you like the movie, it'd be like, are you watching it on Facebook?
There can be a weird energy when you do that though, if you really like are thinking about it, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's the next time I'm gonna watch it probably.
Another character I really enjoyed was Mammy. I think the black maid. She was just a great character, really fun. I think she won the Oscar for that as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah,
someone who wasn't great was that maid. That other maid.
Oh, there was another maid who was just annoying. Yeah, definitely.
That was the only character I didn't like.
And
just whiny.
I think I remember there's some like dramatic things that happen in the film, like character deaths and stuff. And there's a couple that you weren't sold on. You're like, oh, that really? We're not going to get into that.
I don't remember.
But there's definitely things that you picked at, and there's less that I would pick at. But you know, there's still little things. But overall, I think it is one of the great films of all time. But it's again not one to watch over and over again. But
it should stay in the book.
Absolutely should stay in the book. I can't see it not being in the book.
No, like in the future as well.
Yeah, no, but I couldn't see this. If for me at this point, if you're talking about like at least the best, maybe 50 or 100 films in terms of just like a great film, like a classic, it's got to be there. It's just you know, it just
must be on IMDb.
It almost feels like just the definition of a classic. You know, what's a classic film? Citizen Kane, Gone with the Wind, you know, Jaws, films like that, Godfather, Casablanca. So yeah, anyway, that's all we need to say about it, and yeah, thanks for watching.